VagrantTable is going to be piloting the Warlock for us today on Imperial Plaza once again. Going to be going up against Dolphin and his Force Commander, Bucket Helmet. Now, honestly, thank God we finally got an Eldar replay. Feels like it's been absolutely forever. Mr. Vagrant.
What do you require? I walk in the witch path.
I actually encountered this guy not so long ago in retail. Dragged him over to Elite. Isn't that beautiful?
I walk in the witch path.
I don't know how long he's been playing. If you're watching Vagrant, do tell us in the comments section what your background is for Dawn of War 2. How long have you been playing? I'm assuming this is the first time you're trying the Elite mod?
There are more pressing.
I have no idea who Dolphin is. I know that Vagrant plays a lot of team games, so it'll be interesting to see how that applies here to the 1v1. Now, pretty conventional openings so far from both of our players. Double Guardians, Banshees, double Scouts, Tax. So obviously you want to get your Banshees and your Warlock dealing with attacks. You want your two Guardians together if they're going to be taking on the Force Commander. Otherwise, individual Guardians can take on the Scouts very well for now, whilst the Scouts have no upgrades. So right now you see the Banshees are going end zone in the Tax. You've got the Guardians following in pursuit. Going to be able to actually put on a little bit of chip because they do good damage, but we've got shotguns on the way. Force Commander's attempting to rotate around. That was a beautiful shotgun blast. Wow. Yeah, Banshees just need to get out. As soon as the shotgun blast occurred, just retreat. Wow, 4 Banshee models lost. Awful. That's really expensive. Really, really expensive. Now, Scouts over here forcing melee onto the Guardians. Wow, I actually killed one of them with karate kicks. God damn it. Who is winning this fight? I don't even know who wins this fight. Well, certainly with these guys over here, it's going to be different. I think the problem was that Vagrant mismicroed and he sent the Guardians to cap so that the Scouts were right next to them. Certainly if you just force melee with default Scouts into Guardians, the Guardians are going to wreck the Scouts because the Guardians will do so much damage on approach. But that's what happened there. So Vagrant is routed. He's got a very imbalanced economy as well. Well, I guess it's okay, so he lost so many Banshees, right? And he's having to spend so much requisition right now reinforcing them. He opted for basically triple gens at the start because he got 2 gens on his natural, but he also noted this, which is suboptimal. Unless he's going for some sort of fast tech, which it appears he isn't because he isn't dropping another gen anywhere. He should not be doing this. This is a suboptimal build, Vagrant. If you want a Shuriken, you shouldn't have noted this. You should only have gone for 2 of these. And then, honestly, when you took all those Banshee losses, that's delayed your Shuriken massively. You know, we're now on 80 power here for Vagrant without any 4th unit coming out, which is really not good. Now, a little bit of split firing here from the Guardians. You really want to be focus firing with your Guardians. One of them there shooting the Scouts, the other one shooting the Force Commanders. And the presence of the Force Commander and the Scouts here with their shotguns means that the Banshees really can't approach. They're just going to be bleeding. And it just means free damage, basically. Free XP, free damage on the gen farm, free XP for Dolphin, and generally a happy, happy time for him. Map control is favouring Dolphin so far. I'm guessing that Vagrant's going to have some tricks up his sleeves here. He must get some sort of retreat wipes, or maybe Dolphin overcommits in the melee, because right now this is looking super, super favourable to Dolphin. Now he's hanging in for quite a lot of time here. This is greedy from Dolphin. I would just retreat all of this. Yeah, he retreats them eventually, but he lost a Tactical Space Marine. Super unnecessary loss there. Really unnecessary. And my god, he lost triple Scouts as well. So 75, 105, you're looking at like 180 or something. Resources lost there. A lot of requisition down the drain. Now, you only see 2 gens as well for Dolphin because he's opted for the ASM. So Vagrant now is just going to skip straight to tier 2. I mean, look, that's how his economy was balancing out. So, sure. I mean, it's actually going to work surprisingly well because Dolphin took so long. I don't know why the ASM took so long to come out. I mean, I guess he went for the shotguns and the Sarge. Generally, you don't get them, not both, until you've got your ASM. And he's only got 2 gens here, and he hasn't noted this. Here, there, of course, comes his 3rd gen. So that's going to delay him for quite a long time, actually. Vagrant has now replaced the lost gen. So he's got triple gens, and he's got the node as well. So if we have a look at the power income, you'll see that Vagrant actually has 59 right now to 44 of Dolphin. Huge. And now the final gen finishes of Dolphin. He's at 54. Now, Vagrant knows that he is ahead in tech. He knows that Dolphin has spent a lot in Tier 1. I'm not sure if he's seen the ASM or not. That's why it appears... Well, that's why I'm assuming he's rotating his units down the bottom. Now, he is going to be losing his gen farm, but really there's nothing he can do about it against this massive Space Marine force here. Of course, with the ASM and upgraded scouts and the presence of the Force Commander, who's certainly a lot more influential early on than the Warlock we know upgrades. Vagrant can't take this fight, so he's not going to bother. He should probably rotate both of these Guardians with a relatively high DPS to the gen farm of the Space Marines and take out a few of those gens. Warlock should continue capping the map, and Banshee should probably do the same. And that is indeed what he's going to do, which is nice. And then you've got these nice cheap scouts over here, just going to be capping up. I like this play from Dolphin, rotate the Force Commander of the ASM away. Really don't need all of these units dealing with this generator farm. The scouts and the attacks are perfectly sufficient. So I already took out one of the gens. Falcon is on the way for Vagrant. So given that he knows he has a tech lead and he's now getting a gen bash and he's got a Falcon on the way, I really hope he doesn't overstay his welcome here with the Guardians, because it's quite unnecessary. He doesn't. He retreats instantly. Well, it could have retreated a little bit earlier if he'd seen the jump coming, and then it would have saved him one model. Not a big deal. Good play. Back to the Falcon. The Falcon forces off the scouts, but not before the scouts can decap Vagrant's natural power. So now Vagrant's power is going to be very bad in terms of income. You've got triple Banshees down here, finally getting their aspect. They're going to be destroying this power node. Obviously quite slow at doing it, because there's only 3 models instead of 5. The Warlock is going to continue capping, presumably going to go over to that contested VP. Again, a little bit late on the Banshees there. In fact, they might be in a bad spot. Given that the ASM don't have enough energy for a second jump, they'll be alright. Honestly, if the ASM had a second jump, that could have been a wipe on the Banshees. So Vagrant's really got to pay attention more to the ASM positioning and make sure he retreats prior to the ASM landing. Because once they land and they get that knockback, it doesn't matter if you hit retreat then, you're going to take a few hits. And in fact, you know, you're taking 30% more damage because you're in retreat. So the Falcon, playing it relatively safe. He's a bit conscious of any potential AV. Obviously we can see that there is no AV because Dolphin isn't even tier 2 yet. But obviously Vagrant doesn't know that. So I like this, he's backing away. You've got a lot of really powerful transitional AV out of the Space Marines. The combination of a Melter Bomb and the jump is basically undodgeable for a Falcon. Falcon is the slowest transport of all the transports. I mean, that combination is basically undodgeable from any transport, but certainly the Falcon. And we do have a missile-launched tactical Space Marine. You can buff the damage of that missile-launched attack with a battle cry, with a For the Emperor Global. Rear armor hit there with a Melter Bomb too, bang. Nearly half the health of the Falcon. It is going to take 2 more with the battle cry buff, otherwise it's going to take 3 more missile launches to kill this Falcon. If he uses For the Emperor, he'd kill it in 1 more hit. Bloody hell. Dark Reaper's the choice for Vagrant. I mean, he needs to get the Witchblade Acurnus at this point. He needs something to deter these ASM. They're going to be a problem. And he could also, Dolphin could also go for a Thunderhammer teleporting Force Commander, which is probably a good idea. Though he also needs better AV, to be honest. Not a good fight by Dolphin here, I don't like this. He's got the Battlecry buff, but there's a lot of supporting fire coming in here. You've got the Dark Reapers shooting in, you've got the Falcon shooting in. And I just wonder, you know, if the Warlock had a melee weapon upgrade right now as well, this would be very, very scary for the Space Marines. So, Space Marine scaling is a little bit lacking here. Of course, he needs to get his Sergeants. He needs to get the Sergeant on the ASM, he needs to get the Sergeant on the attacks. Goes for a Power Fist. I mean, look, puts more pressure on the Falcon. Be interesting to see what he follows that up with. Potentially a Librarian. Librarian plus the well, Librarian using Veil of Time on the Force Commander with the Power Fist is going to enable it to actually catch the Falcon. Certainly if you combo it with the Melter Bomb to slow down the Falcon. But it's a lot weaker than the Thunderhammer against the melee blob. And there's a lot of focus fire potentially here with double Guardians, a Falcon and Dark Reapers. I think I would have gone for the Thunderhammer, to be honest. He's getting the Armour of Alacrity. I like that. I do like that. Missed macro again by Dolphin. A little bit late there to move his Dark Reapers away. Only lost 2 models, so not a big deal. This is strange. Banshee's moving so far forward on their own. This is not a good idea. Yeah, you got Force Commander in there. Obviously, you got the shotguns. There's just too much, you know. They can beat the ASM on their own, but that's about it. And honestly, Force Commander with the melee charge here and the extra speed that he gets naturally from the Armour of Alacrity probably going to be sufficient right now. Yep, fists that Falcon on the rear. And of course, he could have used the sprint ability as well for even more speed. Guardians getting shot down. Potentially could turn around these Assault Space Marines and hit these Guardians on retreat path. No, Dolphin doesn't see it. I'm not seeing any weapon upgrades either on the Warlock, which I find very weird. Definitely should be getting the Witchblade Acurnus now you're in tier 2. I mean, it's like 2.5 the basic damage. Not to mention it's got a really good ability to deal with anything that you can get into melee with, especially using it defensively against things like ASM. Like right there, for the ASM leap in with their passive leap. Oh my god, a Witchblade Acurnus Ethereal Slash would be insane! Dolphin, I think, maybe confused about why they retreated. Maybe he didn't want to. I don't know. Maybe he had a bit of lag. Yeah, I don't think the retreat is that odd though. So I don't know what he's on about, to be honest. Still got the tax in play with their missile launcher. That's quite convenient, but unfortunately, it's not so convenient that there's no bloody gens for them to bash. Gens, in fact, are down bottom by Vagrant. Very sneaky. Seemed to be pretty good damage actually on that ability there from the Dark Reapers on retreat. I've never really seen it used in retreat. Nice for Vagrant to inflict a bit of bleed here. 1 scout down and a tactical marine. That's another 110 requisition down the drain for Dolphin. Definitely adds up. We've got a fully upgraded Force Commander right now. He's got the Iron Halo as well. This guy's going to be a pain. No shurikens is weird. Very weird. And it really facilitates him going for the tankiness of that Iron Halo when you don't have any shurikens. We're starting to see some webway gates popping up now as well. It's going to be very useful for Vagrant because he is behind on VPs quite a lot. I guess Dolphin's doing a lot of blobbing around this VP right here and this VP here, because I'm noticing that Vagrant always seems to have a unit down bottom attacking this contested power node, yet I'm never seeing it the other way around. So the scouts now capping it back, rotating up. This is strange as well from Dolphin that he didn't bother to, like, he's obsessed with blobbing. He really should have had something else capping this and then let these guys go to the top or something. Like, this is, I really don't feel like all these units need to be down here, you know. Maybe one of the scouts could be capping as well. Do we still not have any upgrades to the Warlock? We still don't. What the hell? He's gonna get wrecked here. I'm going way too deep without any upgrades. Cheeky little sync kill from the ASM. Vagrant's playing a very interesting game here. Quite a risky game given that he's only got 172 VPs. He's opting for the fast tick to tier 3. Doing a lot of fast tick in this game. You know, he fast tick to tier 2 already. Now fast tick into tier 3. Pinned. And now Guardian upgrades as well. I don't... Yeah, just not going to do that well. Very nice of Dolphin to take the fight here, exploiting the line of sight blockers so the Guardians and the Reapers couldn't focus fire the Force Commander. The Force Commander just kicking ass, basically. Dolphin going tier 3 as well. I wonder what Vagrant's plan is here. Is he trying to get Seer Council? That doesn't feel that good against the Force Commander, not gonna lie. Honestly, Force Commander Terminator Force Commander Armor, TFC, could be very good right now. If Seer Council come out, you could get the Lightning Claws. They've got an extremely powerful special attack that tracks, just like the Thunderhammer. And that would swiftly dispatch of them. But nice play here with the Webway Gates. Going to be ambushing the gem farm once again with basically Vagrant's entire army, and that's going to make very quick work of the farm. ASM has scouts en route to defend it. I don't think they're going to be able to take on 4 units though. I mean, it has to be Seer Council, right? You're not going to go Fire Prism when he's already got Halo, Alacrity, Power Fist. God, the Force Commander alone is a threat to the Fire Prism. But then you got Metal Bomb, Missile, Tactical Space Marines too. So it has to be either the Seer Council or an Avatar. And if you guys have been watching for a while, you know how I feel about the Avatar. Not a good idea. It can be okay in team games. It's not a 1v1 unit. It's the worst super unit, for sure. But no, it's going to be Seer Council. Fair enough. I don't know. I don't really think that's going to do very well. All Dolphin needs to do is get a Predator tank, and this game should be securely in his bag. Now, if Dolphin does opt for Terminators, there is potential that Vagrant could win this with a Seer Council. I mean, look, I guess there's always potential that any player can win it. Certainly when tanks are involved. I always see tanks being used poorly more often than I see tanks being used well. So we'll see, but you know, I'm looking at Vagrant's composition. Obviously, Guardians can't do AV, Dark Reapers can't, Seer Council can't. Howling Banshee's very limited at AV. You've got no Shurikens to upgrade to Bright Lances. You've got no Haywire Grenade Warp Spiders. I just wonder, how the hell would you counter a Predator tank? And Dolphin only needs 125 power to go for a Predator tank. Now, Seers are in the Webway Gate. Probably going to be coming out the top here, I assume. Ooh, Scouts getting melted here, walking straight into a nasty range blob. And yeah, default Scouts, that's going to be kind of rough. Dolphin choosing to replace them instantly. I mean, yeah, they're a handy little capping unit, but I don't think that's what you need right now. He hadn't seen the Seer Council though, so perhaps he doesn't realise the level of the threat. However, should be able to get a Predator. Well, he can get a Predator whenever he wants, basically. He's going to be going for that Predator tank. Cool. I mean, I don't know how Vagrant's going to deal with this. The Seers and the Banshees will be able to, ironically, tank the tank for quite a lot of time, but they can't really threaten it. So that tank's going to have a lot of dominance. And then if you get something like a Bright Lance, you know, there's a Force Commander, there's grenades from Scouts who could get infiltration, there's no Rangers, got ASM. There's a lot of ways to deal with a Bright Lance. But this engagement should go in favour of the Eldar. We've got... Is that Distort Field on the Banshees? Yes. So Distort Field plus the passive Aura on the Seer Council, which reduces the amount of range damage you take nearby. Those Banshees actually turning out to be rather tanky. And nothing really dealing with the ranged forces as well, so the Dark Reapers and the Guardians just free to output damage that whole fight. Very tricky for Dolphin. However, this is the solution. A Predator tank. I mean, you can see the 500 HP per model in the Seer Council plus the damage resistance aura, which evidently does affect the Seer Council themselves. Make them pretty damn tough, actually, to kill, even with a Predator, but ultimately the thing is the Predator is faster than them. They only do power melee, even if they do catch it up for a little bit. They're not gonna rip it to pieces. So how is Vagrant going to deal with this? Is he going to go for a Fire Prism? Okay, he's getting a Fire Prism now. But a Predator tank can just rush down a Fire Prism 1v1. Because a Fire Prism is kind of like a like a tank destroyer in Company of Heroes. You got longer range, you got nice damage far. But if the enemy just charges you, you're not going to be able to rotate very well. You've got less armor, you've got less durability. The Predator will win. So generally you need some other form of AV, maybe like a Bright Lance, to zone and control the Predator, so it can't just, you know, charge straight down onto your Prism. The squad of Fire Dragons would do the job as well. Even just having a Warp Spider squad, so you could haywire the Predator, could get it done. But Vagrant doesn't have any of these options. Which is quite concerning for him. The other thing that's concerning for Vagrant is the lack of VPs right now. I mean, you've got 281 for Dolphin still, and they're still ticking down for Vagrant. Even if he catches this, which I don't even know if he's gonna, to be honest, the Predator and the Force Commander here. No, he's gonna have to retreat. I was gonna say, even if he catches it, it's still a 2-1 against him. Is he gonna lose right now? Well, he used to get the VPs very quick, that's for sure. Right, so the Warlock can go on that. Dark Reapers push through the middle along with the Fire Prism. You've got Webway Gates here, so Seer Council are going to pop out. They can definitely take on a Force Commander with a Power Fist. I mean, they could take on a Force Commander with a Thunder Hammer too, but... yeah, the Power Fist is really going to struggle. He's quite tanky though. Level 4 with the Iron Halo. Ooh, and all the disruption here. Knockback from the jump from the ASM, knockback then from the Merciless. Gonna deal with those Seer Council. I mean, they get out without losing any models, but ultimately, yeah, they're forced off. And now the Banshees do not want to be here. What are they doing? Miss Micro, clearly. What is he focusing on? There's, I don't know what he's focusing on. So, Fire Prism makes itself known. It's got its focus beam on, but this is the thing that I'm concerned about. The Predator could just rush it down. Yeah, so it's backing up, that's smart. It's getting line of sight right now from the Warlock, so that's good. Warlock has got the Providence armor. Could be useful, we'll see. Grants him temporary invulnerability, and any abilities that he uses after activating it will have extremely low cooldown. Just getting chain knockbacks right now, obviously not taking any damage, he's got that ability. Gonna retreat now. Now he's got a Bright Lance, has he? Yeah. And they're coming out from the rear. Whoa. Okay, he's making plays right now as Vagrant with his Webway Gates. Did lose one of the Guardians over here, but going to be sending the other Guardian onto the point. I really don't like how the Guardians have got no upgrades. Okay, Distort Field on the Seer Council. But of course, the ASM just jumped the Bright Lance. And now the Fire Prism's coming. It misfires. Of course it does. But the good thing is the Predator is moving and it's choosing to prioritize the nearest target whilst it's doing that. So it's shooting at the Seers and the Banshees, not the Fire Prism. A serious misplay from Dolphin to not really put the pressure on with his Predator and hunt down that Fire Prism. There'd be nothing that it could do. He could have literally gone into the base. But he took too long, and now Banshees and Seer Council, obviously. Oh my god, so much power melee damage. Rip the ASM to pieces, rip the Force Commander to pieces. The Predator got killed by the rear shot from the Prism. This is Vagrant's game. 20 VPs left and he's won it. Oh man, I mean, that was it right there. Such a decisive engagement, Jesus. Killing a Predator, killing the ASM and your hero in a single engagement. That was that. But he was performing so well. I really feel like Vagrant was behind for the vast majority of that game. Certainly in Tier 1. But wow. He had the better scaling army, which balanced out the fact that Vagrant got to Tier 2 first. Just crazy. That's Dawn of War 2 though. I guess that's any RTS. You take a really bad engagement, you lose too many units, boom. Game over. It's just such a shame when there's only 20 VPs left, you know? But that's what it is. Hope you did enjoy that one, folks. Nice to see some Eldar. Nice to see some Imperial Plaza. That's all from your boy Torpid this time. I am signing out.